Hi, Taurus. Welcome to your mid-March 2024 General Tarot Update. It's Rena here. Okay, I'm going to pick an additional card. Let's see this card just sticking out. I'm going to pick it. Wow. Okay. I was only going to pick one, but then it was like it wasn't really how I wanted to end the reading, so I was like, okay, I'll pick a few more. And everyone, okay, let me put it this way. I'm getting some cards here that are a little bit challenging. And I'm trying to think of astrologically why this may be the case. I think how I would say during this time frame, and it's hard to say because if you're a sun in Taurus, then you are not, your astrological chart, usually we're doing the natal chart and it could be like totally different than whatever is happening right now. But even with the solar chart, the Aries energy that is coming in very shortly, but even the sign before Aries, Pisces, that's in the 11th house for you. And that deals with other people, but sometimes other people are not how they claim to be, and so we do have some cards that are a little bit showing that type of thing, like the Seven of Swords, and also the Five of Wands can be about competition. But let's just go and do this one by one. So the heart of the matter is the Queen of Wands. And something, now you actually have some good astrological energy. You have Jupiter in your sign, and that can make you much more optimistic, and even like in the first house, maybe even confident that you are, like instead of being insecure or something. And that's really what this card is all about. It's about a person who is very confident, but also if you, for instance, for women, this can be the working mother or somebody in a position of authority, even maybe somebody who is helping you, who is a very warm-hearted and confident woman herself and a good leader. And actually, the queen can be the mother and the king can be the father, and both of these cards are here. Now, what's interesting is that the King of Swords is like a very remote kind of a man. I always associate with the sign of Aquarius, not to diss Aquarians, but this idea of the very detached person, almost too detached from their emotions. The Queen of Wands can be an emotional person, actually very, almost like a drama queen sometimes. I'm very nervous about saying anything about the Queen of Wands because somebody must have been their icon or something, but they were like reading me the riot act because I said that the Queen of Wands could be like a drama queen. And what I mean by that is some people, and I'm going to say specifically women, since the queen can, be that feminine energy, can be very warm, but also very dramatic in how they perceive life, like a Leo. And I actually think the Queen of Wands is like a Leo energy, but it's supposed to be Sagittarius. But both of those are fire signs, so whatever. But the point is that it's like it can, be extra sometimes, even when it's positive. And in the past position, we have the Four of Cups, which can be a card of dissatisfaction. You can tell by the body language of the individual. Even when somebody is offering them a cup, which represents emotional support or recognition, the person is blocking it. And what I can say about that is that you may, like, for instance, in a relationship setting, you may have gotten so fed up with someone, Taurus, and because it's kind of like a thing where you have an insult level. Taurus people tend to be very chill, and that can sometimes work against us because I have Taurus rising, so I think of myself as a Taurus sometimes. Because there is that, rulership of Venus. This is kind of trying to have harmony, peace, and love, and all of that good stuff, and not wanting to rock the boat necessarily. But sometimes when you're in a relationship with somebody who, and this could be even in the workplace, where they are not giving you what you need at that time in your life, eventually resentments will build up and you will be like done. Even a Taurus person can be done eventually. And so then, that what I have said before is that sometimes people who take others for granted, they can sense that you're done because there's like this energetic detachment, and then they kind of like try to kind of win you over again, but you're already finished. And that's what the higher message is. It's like you're like almost like cold as ice. um and and I also think that this might be a person that you have tried to win over, and you finally realize that you couldn't do it because this person simply doesn't have it within themselves. And it might be a father, it could be a boss who's never satisfied, who maybe isn't warm enough, and you just always have wondered how they felt about you, and you just don't want to be a part of that anymore. What crosses you is the Wheel of Fortune, which is really interesting because this card is connected to Jupiter. So the fact that it's in the challenge position is kind of interesting because you do have it in your particular. You know what's interesting? You do have it in your sign, and you know what's interesting? Look at the signs that are indicated here. They're all fixed signs, including Taurus in the bottom left. I don't know why that is. And I don't know if it's in the Rider Waite deck. I'm going to have to check that out. But anyway, what I would say about this is that Jupiter in your sign means it's in your first house. And of course, that's a general statement for a general reading, but not necessarily true 100% of the time. But the thing about that is that when Jupiter is in your first house, it can magnify your life, because you could condense your life to the first house. And when you talk about transits sometimes of what is happening in your life, and sometimes if you're having issues, maybe that blows up those issues. So that could be, what is going on, and you have to deal with them because they're not getting any better. And that's where all of these other cards come in. Now, what's coming in, and I have it like upside down, but anyway, the Three of Swords can be a card of heartbreak. Now, reversed, we could say that you are walking away from this potential because maybe you're taking the initiative. You know that you're unhappy, so you're not going to stay where you don't feel wanted. Also, sometimes this can be clinging. I feel like this can be clinging to a negative situation because in the upright position, the Three of Swords can be cleanly breaking off from something. But if it's reversed, you might be holding on to something that is, already a bad situation. So please keep that in mind of, like, what are you doing about a situation that is making you feel like not a happy camper. And the outcome is, I sounded like Canadian. I said oot in a boot. Uh, Seven of Swords. This is a card of, you can see the woman, she's kind of watching her back and she's kind of like leaving, getting out of dodge. I call it getting out of dodge card. But it's actually, sometimes it can mean that somebody is not being honest with you, and they're doing sketchy things behind your back, including cheating. And if you have stuck around for that, then you're going to have to just accept the consequences, because you know better. You know that you need to get out of that situation, but you don't want to change your life. You want everything to be predictable. Well, misery can be predictable. This is a card, and it's sometimes this card doesn't have to be like straight out misery, but when you're in that malaise where you just feel unenthused about your life, that's not good either. It's like a psychic flu. And so anyway, I did pick additional cards, and I got the Eight of Swords, and this is a card of how you hold yourself back. Sometimes we feel oppressed, and we feel like somebody's doing something to us, and we don't consider that we might be actually holding ourselves back with the way that we think about a situation. Five of Wands. This can be a card of competition and conflict. And with the workplace, this is something I think a lot of Taurus people would really shy away from. And maybe that's why you're dissatisfied, because you just feel that it's dog eat dog, and it just isn't you. If you were an Aries person, that might actually, pique your interest, but not a Taurus person, generally speaking. So what it means is that with the Eight of Swords, until you rewire your brain and the way you think about things, how can things change? But I did get the last card that I accepted. It's the Three of Wands. This is a card of expansion and being able to, you see the body of water, the mountains in the distance, of realizing that you're in too small of a kind of a pen, that you need to break out more, something more expansive. Maybe you're playing too small in life. So that's what I have for you, Taurus. I hope that this resonated, and if you would like a private reading, I'm promoting my double astrology readings. If you've never had your chart read before, it's great along with the transits, because you can see, patterns. It's when you just hear predictions or things like that, I'm not saying that it doesn't do anything, but the problem is that a person can't really take advantage of transits unless they have the ability to see how they, trip themselves up, because sometimes people may have this opportunity to meet someone that is a wonderful love match, but they are so damaged by past relationships, and they don't even know that they have this trauma. I mean, they know that they've experienced certain things, but they don't realize that they push people away. And so even when good things come to you, if you're in a certain state, you might push them away. So I like to, you know, look at the chart that way rather than just fluff, just things that people can really look at, that they have experienced, and that they can, the things that they need to heal. If it's true for them, obviously. I don't pretend that, I have all this information. You always know what you have experienced and who you are. And I feel like it's really important to never give away your power to anybody outside of yourself. That reading is called My Deep Dive, and so it's a special price because you're buying two readings at once instead of separately. And for this time of year, when you're about to have your solar return, it can be a really great time because it's an hour of natal chart analysis, an hour of transits for the upcoming 12 months. So it doesn't matter, it doesn't start at the beginning of 2024. It'll start whenever the person gets the reading. And I have single readings as well, love, career. You can find out more information at the link below. I'm at RainaMoonAstrology.com. Thanks for watching. Bye.